Hello students, today we are going to start one of the MYP4 chapter, which is linear inequality. Now linear inequality and linear programming both are a part of MYP4 and MYP5, and it is mostly asked in IG and IB examinations. Okay, so linear inequality is just like linear equality. Okay, the difference between linear equality and inequality is very simple. For example, if we say that x is equals to 5, so this is a linear equation. We are going to write this one as a linear equations. Now, why this is a linear equation? Because you are equating x to 5. Okay. Whereas when we come to linear inequality, here we come and here we say that, okay, your x is greater than 5. Okay. So this is linear inequality. Okay. So now the question comes that, is this the only symbol which we are going to use, greater than? So no, there are 4 symbols which we have to go and study here. The first one is greater than. In the left hand side, if we write x, and normally we write the variable on the left hand side, okay, then this we are going to refer as x is greater than. Greater than what? So greater than any value which is written here, greater than a. Okay, this is a linear inequality. If we have written equals to, then we have written x is equals to a, which is a linear equation. But now it becomes a linear inequality. Why linear? Because the power of x is just 1. That is why it's a linear inequality. Now, the another symbol is x is greater than equals to a. Now, this symbol can be written in multiple ways. You can write it like this, you can write it like this. So in different books, you'll find it in different ways, but all are same. It means that x is greater than equals to a. Which means that the value of x is a as well. Okay. For example, if I say here x is greater than 5, which means that x cannot be 5. Here x cannot be 5, but it can be any value greater than 5. It can be 5.00001, it can be 5.01, 5.2, 5.3, 7, and so on. All the real values which are there, all of them are counted if I say x is greater than 5, but this 5 will not be included. Okay. But if I say x is greater than equals to 5, which means that x is 5 and more than 5. So hope this is clear what does greater than equals to and greater than means. Okay. It's a very simple terminology. Okay. If I want to represent this part graphically, I'm going to show you how to do that. Right now, I just want you to understand what is the first symbol is greater than and greater than equals to. Okay. Now let's come to the second one. Okay. So I'm going to write the second one here is x is less than b. Okay. Now x is less than b, which means that x is not b. X is less than b, which means definitely it is not b. It can be any value which is lesser than b, but it cannot be b. Similarly, if I write x is lesser than equals to b, it means that you write in terms of word x is lesser than equals to b, which means that it can be b, it is b, and any value lesser than b. Okay. So if I try to draw this graphically, so if I say that, okay, this is my number line. So in linear inequality, you have always to focus on the number line. Okay. So what is number line? Number line is basically a representation of where you put your numbers. Like for example, you go put 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The scaling should be proper. Okay. Now here you say that x is greater than 5. And if I have to plot this part of x greater than 5 in here, I'll say, okay, x is greater than 5. So I'm going to give a bubble or a circle, okay, which is hollow from inside. Now, what does the hollow of circle means? It means that, before I tell you what does it mean, I'll try to draw this line, okay. Now, what does this mean? This means that x is greater than 5, but it is not 5. This hollow round means it is not 5. On the other hand, this is x is greater than 5, okay. On the other hand, if I want to draw a different number line with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here I say that I have to draw x is greater than equals to 5. Okay, greater than equals to 5. Then at 5 I am going to put a circle, but that will be a bold circle, okay, completely filled. And then it is greater than 5, and I have to end with an arrow symbol. Now, what does arrow symbol means? Arrow symbol means that this value can go till infinity. Okay, you have no restriction. It can be 5 point decimal number, it can be a rational number, it can be any number beyond 5 till infinity. Wherever your infinity ends, till there. Okay, so that is what x is greater than 5. This graphically means this way. Okay, coming to this part of the question, if we go and write, suppose that x is lesser than minus 2. So how do we represent this graphically? We say that, okay, this is my linear line, this is 0, this is minus 1, this is minus 2. Now it is less than minus 2. At minus 2, I am going to put a round which is a hollow, and I am going to the left because it is less than 2 and mark with an arrow. It can go to minus infinity, and I can say that any value which is less than minus 2 can be the value of x, but minus 2 will not be a part of it. Similarly, if I try to draw it like this, 0, minus 1, minus 2, and here I say that I have to draw x is lesser than equals to minus 2. It means at minus 2, I am going to put a bold dot, okay, a bubble, okay, which is completely filled inside, and then mark on the left hand side with the arrow, which means x can be any real number which is lesser than minus 2. So lesser than minus 2, the number is going to increase, but it will be accompanied by a negative sign. Okay, it can be minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, and so on. Okay, so hope this part makes sense. Okay, so what is basically linear inequality? It is basically a symbol which represents an equation or an inequality. Okay, so this is the first one, this is the second, this is the third, this is the fourth. These are the four symbol which we are going to discuss. Okay, so this is what linear inequality is. Okay, now let's take an example of linear inequality and how we are going to encounter questions and how we are going to solve that questions. Okay, so we are going to look into that. Okay, so let's see. For example, I am saying here that x is greater than equals to 2. So what do you mean by x greater than equals to 2? X greater than equals to 2 means that x can be any number in this number line which is greater than 2, which is greater than 2 including 2. Okay, so this can be the number. But now to represent this x greater than equals to 2, there are different ways in which the examiner can give you a question. For example, the same thing x greater than 2 can also be represented by 2 is less than equals to x. See, this represents the same thing. X greater than equals to 2 or 2 is lesser than equals to x represents the same thing, because if you try to read it from left to right here, you're going to say x is greater than equals to. For x, I am saying it is greater because this opening is towards x. So x is greater than equals to 2. Okay, it means you can always write this format or this format. Okay, and if the examiner is giving you this format, you can easily say, okay, I have to write x on the left hand side. So go and write x on the left hand side, 2 on the right hand side, and in this case what you have to do, you have to change the symbol. Okay, lesser than to greater than. If it is equals to will be accompanied. If no equals to is not there, it will not be accompanied. Okay, so this is one of the case where we can interchange the values. To interchange the values, if we do, we have to go and change the symbol. Okay, there is one more way in which we can go and change the symbol. Okay, I'll show you with an example. If I say minus x is greater than 2. If I say minus x is greater than 2, but I want the value of x, I don't want the value of minus of x. In that case, what I'll do, I'll multiply both sides by minus 1. I'll multiply both sides by minus. Minus means minus 1 I'm going to multiply it with. Okay. So what is going to happen? It will become x and minus 2. Correct? But during this, when you multiply both sides by minus, the symbol is going to change from greater than to lesser than. Okay. And this will become x is lesser than minus 2. Okay. So remember, in these two ways, you can change the symbol when solving any inequality. Okay. The second one is whenever, see, you have to make x positive. Okay. You cannot say that minus x is greater than 2 is my answer, because the examiner is always interested in asking what can be the possible values of x. Okay. So you have to answer in terms of the questions asked. So x should be lesser than minus 2. Why it is lesser than minus 2? Because you are multiplying. Whenever you multiply both sides by minus, in that case only you have to change the symbol. Okay. Not in any other case. Okay. The remaining thing will be same as you do in a linear inequality. For example, if I say that minus 5, I'll give you an example. Minus 5 is lesser than minus 3, which is absolutely correct. And minus 5 is lesser than minus 3 because in the number line, if you see, minus 3 comes here, minus 4 is here, minus 5 is here. You can see that it is left. Left means it is less. Correct? While the same thing, if you want to do multiply both sides by minus, will become minus 5 will become 5, 3 will become 3, and then you have to change the symbol and you have to write 5 is greater than 3, which makes sense. Why? Because 0 is going to come here, 3 is going to come here, 5 is going to come here, and then you can say, okay, which makes sense that 5 is greater than 3. Correct? So please remember this part and this part, both of them are equally important. Okay. Now we'll see how to solve a question and how to do it graphically. Okay. So for example, if this is a number line given to you, okay, we have marked with A, and in the number line it has said like this. Okay, this is X. It can be X, it can be Y, it can be Z, any variable. Now I say that, can you write an expression for this? So the expression for this will be, you can see that the value is greater than A but not A. Which variable? X. So you can go and you can write, okay, X is greater than A. Similarly, if I give you one more example, and here I say, assume this one to be Y. This value is A. This is completely filled. This bubble is completely filled, and it's the right arrow. So here you are going to say the variable is Y. So Y is greater than A. But if you see, this A is also included because it is bold. So write greater than equals to A. Okay. Similarly, if I draw one more line and say this is T and mark this as A here, and I mark the arrow on the left hand. I am marking the arrow. I am marking that with an arrow means it can go till infinity. If I am not marking the arrow, then I'll show you what is going to happen. Okay. In that case, the variable is T. So you are going to comment on T and you're going to say, okay, T is lesser than A. Why lesser than? Because this A is not included because this is a hollow bubble. Okay. I'll take one more example. Suppose this is Z. Okay. And this value is A. And this time I am going to fill up this bubble and mark with an arrow. So here you are going to say, okay, my Z is lesser than A, but my A is also included because this is a bold bubble. So I'm going to write like this. I can write like this also. I can write like this also. Okay, choice is yours. So basically an open circle, what an open circle means, open circle or open bubble means the value is not that particular value on which that particular value on which that bubble is there, that value is not included. It is not included. But if you talk about the closed circles or bold circles, why bold? Because it is completely filled, then the value where it is marked is included. This is the basic difference between this bold and, hope this makes sense. Okay. Now we'll come to a few questions and we'll see how to do those questions. Okay. Now if I say, okay, this is my number line. This is 0, 1, 2, 3. And I say, okay, I'm going to mark here and I'm going to mark with an arrow. So you can pause your video and write the answer, which is very clear. You can say, first, what is this variable? I say this variable is X. You'll say that, okay, sir, X will be greater than 1. Not greater than equals to 1. Why? Because 1 is not included here. Okay. Similarly, if I try to draw another line I'll give some example with minus also. So -4, -3, -2, -1, 0. And I mark this like this. So here we can understand that it is lesser than -1. So I can write x is lesser than -1 because it is going on the left hand. Arrow is going on the left hand side. So it's lesser than -1, but -1 is also included. So I'm going to write lesser than equals to -1. Okay. This way we are going to make the graphs. Okay. Now this is all about where we have got an arrow. What if we do not have an arrow? I'll give you an example of when we don't have an arrow. Okay. For example, this is my number line. I mark this as 0, 1, 2, -1, -2. And I say that my line is from this point till this point. So, and this variable is x here. This variable is x here as well. So you are going to say, okay, I can understand that my x is between -1 and 1. Correct? So it is lesser than 1. So this side I'm going to write lesser than 1, and it is greater than -1 because it can be 0 or 1. It is greater than -1. And both are bold circles. So it will be included. Both of them will be included. Okay. So I can write like this: x is in between -1 to 1 in case I don't wish to give an arrow. Okay. Another example, I'll try to show it. For example, x here again, 0, 1, 2, -1, -2, and this time I am doing a hollow here and a bold here. So how do you write this? You go and you say that, okay, I understand that x is in between -2 and 0, but x is lesser than 0 and it is greater than -2. -2 is not included, so I'm not going to write here an equals to sign, but 0 is included, so I'm going to put an equals to sign 0. Okay, you can write equals to like this, or you can write a slant line, whatever suits you. Okay, both are correct. Okay, so this is an example where this is a finite value of x is going to come from -2 to 0, not including -2 but including 0. Hope this makes sense. So this is how we solve any linear equations graphically. Okay, graphically means in a number line. When you see graphically, when I say, then there will be two variables. This is all I'm teaching you with equation with one linear inequality with one variable. Now let's see a few questions and how to solve it. Okay. So for example, the first question is x plus 2 is lesser than 5. You just have to solve the way you are solving a linear equation. And how do you do that? You have to leave x here alone. What is causing a problem of leaving this x alone, this plus 2? So this plus 2 can be taken this side. Okay. So what you'll say, okay, x is lesser than 5 is there. This plus 2 will go there and become -2. Since it's a plus 2, it will go there, become -2. So the answer will be x is less than 5 minus 2 is 3. So my answer is x is lesser than 3. Correct? Now they can ask you that you can draw this in the graph on a number line. So you go there, mark with 0, 1, 2, 3. At 3, 3 is not included. There is no limitation. So it will go till -infinity. So the value will be -infinity to 3, but 3 is not included. Okay. Next question. For example, this time I am going to do a little more. For example, I am going to say x by 4 minus 1 is greater than equals to 2. Okay, and I have to find the value of x. So what I'm going to say, okay, I'll try to go one by one. Okay, I'll not try to do, so don't try to find the LCM here. Okay, this 1 is here, you can just take on that side, this -1 will become +1. Okay, so you can write here x by 4 is greater than equals to, this -1 goes there, it becomes 2 is already there, +1, which means x by 4 is greater than equals to 2 plus 1, 3. Now you see 4 is in the denominator. We have already learned linear equations. You might be knowing you have to go and multiply, cross multiply. So it means 4 will go and multiply by 3. It will become x is greater than equals to 3 into 4. So it is x is greater than equals to 12. Okay, so this is my answer where x is greater than equals to 12. If you to draw a number line, mark with 10, 11, 12. It is greater than 12. This 12 is included, so mark it with a bold. Okay, so this way we solve any linear inequations in linear inequality. Okay, let's go and do some more questions. Suppose in this question, the question says that I'm trying to put a brackets here. Okay, 4 times 2 of x plus 1 is greater than equals to 16. If this is a question, how we are going to proceed with it? So first of all, either you can go and solve this bracket or you can put 4 here. So I'll go and solve the bracket first. Okay, so 8x, 4 will get multiplied with 6, this 4 will get multiplied with 1, plus will remain as it is, plus 4 is greater than equals to 16. So you have to keep talking to you when you solve the sum, okay, yourself, okay? Don't shout while you do it, okay? You can talk to yourself inside. I mean, from yourself only. It's greater than equals to this, plus 4 will go here, will become minus 4, so 16 minus 4. So now it becomes 8x is greater than equals to 12. Now you can divide this 8, which is multiplied with x. When it goes here, it will become division, okay? It will become divided by 12 divided by 8. Okay, so this comes as x is greater than 4 3 is 12, 4 2 is 8, 1.5. So x is greater than equals to 1.5. Okay, so this is the answer. If you want to draw on the number line, you say, okay, this is my number line, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. You go to the number line, 1.5 is somewhere between 1 and 2. So this part you go and you make a bold dot because it is included and you mark with an arrow. Okay, this is how we solve numericals along with the graph. Okay, we'll see a few more questions. Let's see and find like 6x minus 1 upon 5 is lesser than 0. Okay. Now first this 5 I have to go and remove. Do not go and try to remove 6x because 6x is accompanied by 5. So you cannot go and take 6x or 1 on that side. Okay, this will become wrong. So go one by one. So 6x minus 1 is lesser than 5 will get multiplied with 0. We know anything multiplied by 0 will be 0 only. Okay. Now this 6x minus 1. So this minus 1 will try to go there and become 0 plus 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. So 6x is less than 1. So what is x is less than? You go and do division because it's multiplication here. So this one 6 will go here, it will get divided. It becomes 1 by 6. So x is lesser than 1 by 6. Again, you can do and the graph. So in the graph, you assume that, okay, this is 0, this is 1. 1 by 6 will be 6 part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 parts I have done. My first part is 1 by 6 is here. Correct? This is 2 by 6, 3 by 6, 4 by 6, 5 by 6, 6 by 6. Correct? So this is my 1 by 6 and it is less than that, not equals to. So I'm going to mark it like this. Correct? A hollow one. So hope this makes sense. Okay, this type of question does comes in exam and you can easily go and solve it. Okay, any number line question also you can solve it. Okay, let's find and do some some examples for you. You can go and solve simple 2y plus 1 is lesser than equals to 7. If you try to solve this, you're saying, okay, 2y is less